At the time of this video's release, the 1-year channel anniversary is just around the corner, and I thought there's no better way to celebrate than to run another one of our HM friends. This time for the HM friends, we're running Golduck, and because of the rules we've followed ever since the very first challenge, that means we're starting with Psyduck. While we're getting prepared for our half hour or so with the Psyduck line, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the support over the last 12 months. It really has been a rollercoaster ride of emotion, and when I started this channel I came in with no expectations whatsoever. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun, do a few runs that I hadn't seen before, and then see where things led from there, and 12 months down the line I could not have imagined the amount of love, support and genuine friendships I have made doing these runs. And now I've got a quick question for all of you. What is your favourite run we have done together here on the channel? For me it's got to be Heracross because of that amazing Lance battle. But the more important question is, what is your favourite run? Let me know in the comments below as we take a look at our Psyduck. We're level 5 with 20 HP, we're holding a berry and our moves are Scratch and Tail Whip. We've got 11 in attack, 10 in defence, 12 in special attack, 11 in special defence and 11 in speed. So overall we're quite well rounded, but we're going to be relying on our weaker physical attack until we grow to level 16. Now as always I'm going to show you the very first encounter we have with a wild Pokemon, and in this instance it's a level 2 wild Pidgey. It takes 3 scratches to knock it out, and then we can move on towards Mr. Pokemon's house. As we're having a little chat with Mr. Pokemon, I just want to mention that I'm going to be doing some redo videos in the upcoming weeks and months. Any Pokemon I've run, up to and including Mr. Mime, will be eligible for a redo, because from the Furret video onwards I started using a turbo button because I was developing quite severe pain in my thumb. However, that did have the unwanted side effect of making the run significantly quicker. So these videos will be quite short and they will be clearly labelled on the leaderboard, but they will have a brand new time. But with that out of the way, I will tell you I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Psyduck. That gives the rival Chikorita, which is the obvious choice for this run. We tail whip the Chikorita and then start scratching it away. It's 3 shots to knock it out, and we can make our way back towards Professor Elm's laboratory. In there we tell the police officer that the rival's name is triple question mark. We have a little chat with Professor Elm, we get the Pokeballs from his aid, and we can make our way towards Violet City. Our only destination in Violet City this time is going to be the gym. Being a water type, there's absolutely no point in taking on Sprout Tower. We might as well head straight for the gym where we're not going to get beaten up quite as hard. In the gym, before taking on Falkner, we take on the pair of Birdkeepers, starting with Abe. And against Birdkeeper Abe's Spearow, we grow to level 10 and learn Disable. And that is just in time for us to take on our first gym leader together. This is Falkner, the flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. We start scratching away at the Pidgey and we're able to knock it out in 3 shots, surviving on 26 HP, and out comes Pidgeotto. We disable Gust on turn 1 and then we get to tail whipping. I get a little bit overzealous though and keep tail whipping long past when I should have stopped, and that combined with a critical hit from Gust knocks us out. So let's try again, and hopefully this time Falkner will play ball. We get a critical hit on the Pidgey, but it's still 3 shots to knock it out, and here comes the Pidgeotto once more. We start off again by disabling the Gust, and then for some reason he goes for Mud Slap instead. I'm not quite sure what happened with Falkner's AI compared to the last battle, but Mud Slap deals significantly less damage, and even with the accuracy drops we're able to land enough scratches to knock out the Pidgeotto and obtain our first badge in a time of 7 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm still really confused as to what changed between the 2 battles to make Falkner go for Mud Slap. If you have any idea at all, please do let me know because it's still a mystery to me. But we mustn't linger on that, instead we must travel through the Union Cave and into Azalea Town, where we're going to catch our HM friends. First up today is Paris. Paris is going to be helping us out with Cut, Sweet Sense, Dig and Flash. With Paris safely caught, we can get on for looking for our own HM friend Psyduck. We're not going to be teaching our Psyduck the HM friend moves, instead we're going to be running with 2 Psyducks in this game. This Psyduck is going to be helping us out with Surf, Strength, Whirlpool and Waterfall, and with both of them acquired we can make our way into the gym where we take on Bugcatcher Al. Al's got a Caterpie and a Weedle, and it's against Bugcatcher Al that we grow to level 16. At level 16 we finally get a special move in the form of Confusion, and that's going to significantly increase our offensive capabilities in this run. And so let's now test out our brand new move against our second gym leader together. This is Bugsy, the bug type specialist who leads with Metapod. We start confusing the Metapod, and 2 shots and hitting itself in confusion is enough to knock it out, and here comes Kakuna. It's a simple one-shot against Kakuna because confusion is super effective, and that just leaves Scyther left to go. We confuse the Scyther on turn 1, and then this battle starts falling apart for Bugsy. He hits himself in confusion a couple of times combined with a critical hit, and that gives us a Hive badge in a time of 14 minutes and 53 seconds. However, we cannot celebrate for too long because the notorious second rival battle is literally just around the corner. We're a pure water type and he's got a second stage grass type Pokemon. Let's give it our best shot at level 18. The Ghastly is irrelevant because confusion is super effective, and then we outspeed the Bayleaf. I didn't expect to outspeed, and that got our disable all kinds of wrong, so let's try again. Ghastly's still an easy one-shot, and out comes Bayleaf once more. It uses Reflect on turn 1 and then Razor Leaf on turn 2. We disable Razor Leaf, and that means that Bayleaf can no longer directly attack us. The worst it can now do is Poison Powder, but we knock it out before it gets a chance to land it, and then it's as simple as 2 further confusions to knock out the Zubat, and we are through Rival 2 on a very low level for a pure Water-type Pokemon, and in a very quick time of 15 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's now start making our way through the Ilex Forest, where we'll grab Cut from the Charcoal Maker. We're also going to get Headbutts from the green-haired man staring at the tree, and we're instantly going to teach that in place of Scratch. Scratch might have 35 PP, but it's only base 40 power, so we're going to upgrade that by 30, but drop 20 PP in the process. I think it's worth it because we're outspeeding things and we get the chance to flinch. We'll also pick up Sweet Scents from the lady at the desk, and once we're out of the other side of the forest, it's time to catch our third HM friend. This one, of course, is Abra, who's only going to be helping us out with teleports, but that is still very, very useful all across the run. And with Abra safely caught, we'll go into Goldenrod City proper, we'll pick up the bicycles so that we can cycle around in double quick time, and we'll pick up our final HM friend. This is Kenya the Spearow, who'll be flapping their wings all over the place and helping us get from destination to destination. In the National Park, we'll grab the Quick Claw and we'll also grab the Dig TM. We'll teach that to Paris along with Sweet Scent, and then we'll make our way towards that pesky tree blocking the way. Floria doesn't know how to get rid of it, so she says give me some time to have a little think, and in the meantime, why don't you take on Whitney? Whitney, of course, is our third gym leader together, a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. We start headbutting the Clefairy, and it's 3 shots to knock it out, taking 6 damage in the process, and here comes the Miltank. We disable rollout so it can't build in power, but then she uses Attract. Attract is incredibly frustrating because it's ostensibly a coin toss as to whether we'll be able to land a move or not. I tried a couple of different strategies against the Miltank, but nothing seemed to work. She always seemed to deal far too much damage against us for us to get through this battle, so we have no choice but to do the grind. In a lot of runs recently, Whitney has been a real stumbling block for us, and I think Game Freak knew what they were doing when they placed Whitney in this location, because there are so many trainers in and around Goldenrod City for you to take on. We grow to level 23 while facing Pokefan Brandon, and that means we learn Screech. Screech is slightly less accurate than Tail Whip, but it is double the effectivity. We're then going to keep on grinding all around and see if we can get up to level 25. I think at level 25 we're going to stand a much better chance. We have a little bit of a scare against this Raichu, but managed to knock it out with a critical hit. But Raichu gives us enough experience to go back to Goldenrod City, get concussion against the Pokemart, go back into the gym and take on Whitney for the second time. So this once again is Whitney, the normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. We start headbutting the Clefairy and it's 2 shots to knock it out this time, and we are on 61 HP for the Miltank. And once again the battle starts falling apart. Disable fails, so the rollout gets to build, we can't even get a Screech off, and before we know it we're down to 6 HP. I take the reset and we are back onto the Clefairy. Clefairy's double slap misses, and that means we're onto the Miltank with full health. We start with a disable as she uses Stomp instead of rollout, and then we get to Screeching. A couple of Screeches later and we start headbutting. We deal over half HP on the first headbutt, and that combined with a lucky rollout miss means we're through Whitney and have the plain badge in a time of 28 minutes and 14 seconds. Let's now make our way out of the gym and into next door where Floria's told us that her sister has a squirt bottle for us. And that of course means that we can cycle back north and finally get rid of that pesky tree that's been blocking our way to Ecruteak City. Our first destination in Ecruteak this time is the Kimono Girls Dance Theatre. We want to be able to get Surf as quickly as possible, And as always, I'll show you the battle where we have the type weakness. In this case, it's against the Jolteon, but we're in no danger of being knocked out, and our reward for defeating all 5 Kimono Girls is Surf. And we are absolutely going to be teaching that to both Psyduck straight away. For our challenge Psyduck, we're going to be saying goodbye to Disable, which didn't work quite as well as I'd hoped in some instances, and hello to Surf in its place, and that means we actually have a stab move, and a good stab move at that. So let's now head towards the Lake of Rage, where we'll pick up the full restore that's hidden in the tree there. We're going to get the rare candy hiding in the bush, and then we're going to go into the meditating man's house to grab hidden power. And our hidden power type this time is electric. Having a water type move on our learn set already, and having the ability to learn an ice type move, means we're able to hit every type for at least neutral damage, barring other water type Pokemon. So it made sense to me to run a type that can take care of Pokemon we can't hit for neutral damage. But now that we're in Olivine City, we'll grab strength from the man at the cafe and teach that to our other Psyduck, and we'll start ascending the lighthouse. Towards the top of the lighthouse, we take on Sailor Terrell and his Poliwhirl, and it's against this Poliwhirl we grow to level 31 and replace Screech with Psycup. Psycup will copy the stat changes of any opposing Pokemon, and with Gen 2's AI liking to use stat buffing moves on turn 1, we could really use that to our advantage. We have a little chat with Jazz at the top of the lighthouse, we dig out and teleport back to Ecruteak City, make our way into the Burnt Tower, and now it's time to take on our third rival battle together. And this time he leads with Haunter. We start with a Surf against the Haunter to knock it out in one shot, so he sends out Magnemite. Magnemite doesn't have the greatest special defense, so that's another one shot, and we swap to Headbutts for the Bayleaf. Poison Powder misses, the Bayleaf flinches, and we take no damage at all, and that just leaves Zubat left to go. It's a single confusion to knock it out, and we are through the third rival battle in a time of 37 minutes and 57 seconds. So let's now fall through the floor, making sure to land very carefully. We'll release the beasts and head into Ecruteak Gym. Before we take on Morty, the gym leader, we're going to have to take on a bunch of gym trainers, and one of those is Sage Jeffrey with his single Haunter. Against this Haunter, we grow up to level 33, and it's at level 33 we say goodbye to Psyduck in this run and hello to Golduck. So we have a lovely boost to our base stats, and it's just in time for our fourth gym together. This is Morty, the Ghost and Poison type specialist who leads with Ghastly. We start with a confusion against the Ghastly to knock it out in one shot, so he sends out Haunter. It's another one shot against the Haunter, and that brings us on to Gengar. I should really have used Surf there against the Gengar, but 2 confusions knocks it out. And then one final confusion is all it takes to knock out his final Haunter, and we get the Fog Badge in a time of 39 minutes and 41 seconds. So let's now exit the gym and start cycling back to Olivine City once more, where we're going to cross the open seas and find ourselves in Scionwood City. There are a couple of bits to do here in Scionwood, and the first thing to do is pick up the secret potion from the man in the dodgy shop, and then we'll head into the gym. Before taking on Chuck, we're going to say goodbye to Headbutt and hello to Hidden Power Electric in its place, and I think that's just the recipe to take care of that pesky Poliwrath. So this is Chuck, our 5th gym leader together, a fighting type specialist who will lead with Primeape. We start with a Surf against the Primeape, and it's an easy one shot, and that brings us on to Poliwrath. Hidden Power deals more than half damage as he uses Mind Reader and wastes a turn. We knock it out on turn 2 and get the Storm Badge in a time of 41 minutes and 56 seconds. Our other reward, of course, for defeating Chuck is Fly. We get that from Chuck's wife just outside the gym, and we're going to teach that straight away to Kenya and fly towards the Lake of Rage, where an angry red Gyarados is waiting for us. And because we have Hidden Power Electric, which is 4 times super effective against the Gyarados, it's just one shot to knock it out, and that means we can chat with the Liar with the Flyers. He tells us about the shenanigans going on underground in Mahogany Town, but I'm pleased to inform you that absolutely nothing of importance happened. So we'll skip to the end where Lance gives us that knockoff Whirlpool HM, and while we're in the neighbourhood we might as well take on Price. Price is our 6th gym leader together. He's an Ice type specialist who will lead with Seal. We start with a Hidden Power Electric against the Seal and take care of it in one shot, and out comes the Dugong. We carry on with Hidden Power against the Dugong to take it deep into the yellow, and one further Hidden Power knocks it out. We swap to Surf for the Piloswine, we knock it out in one shot, and we have defeated Price and obtained the Glacier Badge in a time of 46 minutes and 55 seconds. Let's now leave Mahogany Town and go straight back to the lighthouse where Jasmine is still waiting for us to deliver the secret potion. And in a shocking twist of events, Jasmine actually gives the secret potion to Amphi this time. It's as if she thinks this battle will be a foregone conclusion. This is Jasmine, our 7th gym leader together. She's a Steel-type specialist who leads with Magnemite. We start with a Surf against the first Magnemite and it gets knocked out in one hit. She sends out another one and exactly the same happens, and that just leaves Steelix left to go. Steelix is weak to Surf, it gets knocked out, and we have defeated Jasmine and obtained the Mineral Badge in a time of 47 minutes and 54 seconds. And it's at this point, after 7 badges, I like to do a little bit of housekeeping. We'll start off by popping over to Violet City and grabbing the rare candy just outside of the Sprout Tower. Azalea Town and the Slowpoke Well is our next destination, where a very kind man with glasses gives us the King's Rock. While we're here, we'll also pick up the Rain Dance TM just in case we need it a little bit later, and then we'll fly over to Goldenrod City. The lady at the desk will give us the Return TM, and while we're on the floor we might as well pick up a couple of Ice Punch TMs as well. And then the final bits we'll pick up on this whistle stop tour of Johto are a rare candy and a nugget just south of the daycare. And now with everything we need for the next part of the run, we'll go back to Goldenrod City and into the underground where the 4th rival battle awaits us. This is Rival 4 and this time he's going to lead with Golbat. Hidden Power makes light work of the Golbat, knocking it out in a single hit, so he sends out Magnemite. We swap to Surf and easily one-shot that as well, and here comes Meganium. We don't have anything too great against the Meganium, so we're just going to Confusion it a few times. Thanks to a lucky critical hit, it gets knocked out in just 3 shots, and we're on to the Haunter. We use Surf against the Haunter to take care of that in a single hit, and the final Pokemon is Sneasel. Sneasel's another easy one-shot, and we've defeated the 4th rival battle in a time of 53 minutes and 37 seconds. Let's now move to the top of the radio tower, where we're going to pick up some bits for rescuing the Director. We'll get the pink bow from Marie, we'll also get the radio card from the lady at reception so that we can make our way through Kanto. We'll fly back to Mahogany Town, and now that we're allowed to head east, we'll start traversing the ice path. There are a couple of important bits in here for us this time, the first of course being HM07, which contains Waterfall. We teach that along with Whirlpool to our Psyduck, and the second thing is the Never Melt Ice. We might not need it for any upcoming battles, but it's always good to have when you have an ice move on your learn set. And talking about having an ice move on the learn set, we're now going to replace Confusion with Ice Punch, and it's just in time as well because we have Claire's gym coming up. Claire is of course our 8th and final Jotonian gym leader. She's a Dragon-type specialist who leads with 3 Dragonair. So we start off against Dragonair number 1 and knock it out with a single Ice Punch, and we rinse and repeat for the next 2 Dragonair as well. That will just leave the Kingdra left to go, and we don't have anything too great against it. So we carry on as we have been doing and get a very lucky freeze on the Kingdra with Ice Punch, and then she gets caught in a healing loop. And just a few Ice Punches later we knock it out, and that means we've defeated Claire and got our 8th gym badge, the Rising Badge, in a time of 1 hour, 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Let's now start heading east even further towards the Pokemon League. En route we're going to pick up the rare candy just east of New Bark Town, and with nothing major happening on routes 26 and 27 we'll go straight into Victory Road, where our 5th and final rival battle is awaiting us. This is Rival 5 and this time he's going to lead with Sneasel. So the Sneasel comes out and we surf it away in 1 hit, and up next is Magneton. Magneton isn't strong enough to survive a surf, so it goes down as well, and we swap to Ice Punch for the Meganium. It's 2 shots to knock it out as Poison Powder misses, and that brings us onto the Golbat. Ice Punch makes light work of the Golbat as well, and his penultimate Pokemon is Haunter. We swap to Surf and knock it out, and we carry on surfing against the Kadabra, and we have defeated the rival for the 5th and final time in a time of 1 hour, 8 minutes and 24 seconds. And with that, we have made it to the Indigo Plateau. We'll heal up whether we need it or not, and we'll say thank you to the HM friends. So it's thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and merci to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get some well-deserved rest as Golduck takes on the Pokemon League. And before we go into the league, let's take a look at our stats. We are level 53 with 171 HP. We're holding the Scamulet coin with Surf, Hidden Power Electric, Psych Up, and Ice Punch. We have 129 in attack, 122 in defense, 139 in special attack, 123 in special defense, and 133 in speed. Let's see if that's enough to take us through the league as we engage our first league member in battle. This is Will, a psychic type specialist who led with Xatu. Xatu gets knocked out straight away, so he brings out Exeggutor. Ice Punch makes light work of the Exeggutor, knocking it out in 1 hit, and we swap to Surf for the Jinx. Jinx's double slap misses and we finish her off on turn 2, and that brings us on to Slowbro. It's a pair of Hidden Power Electrics to knock that one out, and his final Pokemon is a second Xatu. We carry on with Hidden Power Electric, we knock it out and we are through Will in a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes and 43 seconds. Up next is Koga, the Poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We start off with a Surf against the Ariados and easily take care of it in one shot, and he sends out Venomoth. Venomoth goes down in much the same way, and that brings us onto the pesky Fortress. We're easily able to one-shot it with Surf as well, because that's just how powerful that move is. We two-shot the Muck with another pair of Surfs, and the final Pokemon is Crobat. We swap to Hidden Power for the Crobat and get it comfortably in healing range, but then we miss our next Hidden Power. Fortunately for us though, we only take a tiny bit of damage from Wing Attack and knock it out on our next turn to get through Koga in a time of 1:10:22. The next trainer is Bruno, the fighting type specialist who leads with Old Spinny Legs. We critical hit the Hitmontop to knock it out in one shot, so he tries again with Hitmonchan. This time we take a little bit of damage from Thunder Punch as it's 2-shot, and the next Pokemon is Legs the Hitmonlee. Once again it's a 2-shot against the Hitmonlee, but we don't take much damage at all from a high jump kick. He sends out Machamp and it's looking like yet another 2-shot. We don't take a lot of damage from Cross Chop and we get a nice easy end to the battle with an Onix. We knock it out in a single hit and we are through Bruno in a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes and 6 seconds. Up next is Karen, the Dark type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We get sand attacked by the Umbreon, so we're on lowered accuracy for the rest of the battle, but we're able to make Ice Punch connect against the Vileplume and knock it out in one shot, so she sends out Gengar. Gengar's a one-shot with Surf, so we're not being sworn at today, and we swap back to Ice Punch for the Murkrow. It's an easy one-shot, and that just leaves Houndoom left to go. Houndoom's weak to Surf, it connects on our first attempt, and we are through Karen in a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes and 44 seconds. And that is the league all done and dusted. We just have the champion left to go. It's Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, who leads with Gyarados. We start off with a Hidden Power against the Gyarados and easily one-shot it, and then he sends out his first Dragonite. We don't have to worry about being paralysed in this battle because Ice Punch makes light work of both level 47 Dragonite. Up next is the level 50 Dragonite, and those extra 3 levels make no difference to the fate of it. The final 2 Pokemon are both weak to water, so we swap to Surf for the Scarodactyl. We one-shot that, and the final Pokemon is Charizard. It's another simple one-shot to knock it out, and we have defeated Lance in a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes and 31 seconds. And that gives us a final league time of 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47 seconds. That means that Golduck is sitting very comfortably in 17th place as we enter the Hall of Fame, but will that all change? We've got another 8 badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere because Kanto is next. And we are back, where it all began outside our home in Newbark Town, where Professor Elm has a phone call for us. He gives us the SS ticket so that we can get to Kanto proper, but we've got a few bits and bobs to wrap up in Johto before we do. The first thing we're going to do is welcome back the HM friends, so it's a warm welcome back to Kenya to Abra to Psyduck, and bienvenue to Paris, and then we'll fly to Goldenrod City where we're going to spend all of our money. We have to spend 80,000 Pokédollars in order to replace Ice Punch with Ice Beam. That's going to give us a base 20 power upgrade at the cost of 5 power points, and the last thing we're doing in Johto is picking up a couple of rare candies. The first one is hidden up the waterfall in Mount Mortar, and the second one is going to be in the Whirl Islands. And you may have noticed something, we've not been in Sprout Tower at all. This isn't a change of routing, I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you, I completely forgot to go there, and by the time I was in the Whirl Islands I thought let's just roll with it and see how bad it is. We keep the game as vanilla as possible, so we're not doing any kind of auto-flashing here, we're just going to roll with it. We managed to get the rare candy, and then a hop, skip and a jump takes us into Kanto. And the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And with those rare candies safely tucked away along with the rest of them, we'll make a quick trip through Saffron City. We're not going into Mr. Psychic's house because for some reason Golduck cannot learn Psychic via TM, it's only an egg move, so we'll go straight into Celadon City where we'll grab the leftovers from the bin in the cafe, the PP up from the bush, and then it's straight into Erica's gym where she is waiting for us. Erica is our 9th gym leader together, a grass type specialist who leads with Tangela. Ice Beam makes light work of the Tangela, so she sends out a Jumpluff. Jumpluff's 4 times weak to ice, so it gets knocked out in a single hit, and then it's 2 further one-shots against the Victory Bell and the Blossom to defeat Erica and obtain our first Cantonian gym badge in a time of 1 hour, 17 minutes and 47 seconds. Up next is Misty, the water-type specialist who will lead with a Golduck of her own. We use Hidden Power Electric against her Golduck to knock it out in one shot, so she sends out Quagsire. Quagsire's immune to electric, so we swap to Surf and easily one-hit KO it, and the next Pokemon is Lapras. Lapras takes 2 hits, but Blizzard doesn't freeze us, and then it's a mere formality against the Starmie. A single Hidden Power knocks it out, and we are through Misty in a very duck-themed time of 1 hour, 22 minutes and 22 seconds. Our third Cantonian gym leader is Sabrina. She led with Espeon, but that's already been knocked out by Surf, so she tries again with Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime has no better luck than the Espeon, and neither does Alakazam. It's 3 one-shots against Sabrina to get through her in a time of 1 hour, 22 minutes and 58 seconds. Our fourth gym leader in this gauntlet is Lieutenant Surge. He leads with Raichu, and once again Surf is putting in the work. I really do think that water types are at an inherent advantage in these runs, and it's all down to getting Surf incredibly early. We get it after just 3 badges, and it's a base 95 power move with 15 PP. And not only does that see us through a lot of the harder battles in Johto, it can also make the Kanto section incredibly trivial. We're seeing that here with all the Cantonian gym leaders. We've barely taken any damage at all, and Brock is no different. Against Brock, we mostly use Surf, but we do swap to Hidden Power Electric for the Omastar. That's just for PP purposes, so we don't have to take a heal in Viridian City as we're heading towards Cinnabar Island, and those 11 Surf PP that we have will easily take us all the way through to the end of Janine. And we are now one step closer to getting there because we've defeated Brock and obtained the Boulder Badge in a time of 1 hour, 25 minutes and 50 seconds. Let's now cycle south, waving to 3 Drill en route, and go all the way through to Cinnabar Island. On Cinnabar Island, Blue is feeling a little bit down in the dumps because a volcano has destroyed the entire city. I tell him to maybe try some 3 Drill honey to cheer himself up, but he thinks we're just peddling some multi-level marketing scheme and leaves, so we'll give him some space to realise that we weren't trying to sell him anything, and in the meantime we'll take on Blaine. Blaine is our 14th gym leader together. He's a fire-type specialist who leads with Magcargo. And I think if any gym battle was a foregone conclusion, it would be this one. It is as simple as 3 one-shots with Surf to defeat all 3 of his Pokemon, and we obtain the Volcano Badge in a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes and 58 seconds. And our penultimate gym leader is everybody's favourite pushover, it's Janine. Janine is still riding the high of making us take a reset against her while we were running with Shuckle. However, today is a completely different story. We just sweep away all of her Pokemon with Surf, and she doesn't even bother with the dire hits for Venomoth. 5 simple one-shots to knock out all of her Pokemon, and we are through Janine in a time of 1 hour, 27 minutes and 36 seconds. Let's see if Blue can claw one back for these Cantonian gym leaders. He's a mixed-type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. It's a one-shot on the Pidgeot with Ice Beam, and it's exactly the same against the Executor as well. He sends out Alakazam next, and we swap to Surf as it's our strongest move, and we easily take care of that. Hidden Power Electric is 4 times super effective against the Gyarados, so that is no issue. And then his final 2 Pokemon are weak to water. Arcanine barely makes a dent in us with extreme speed, and Rhydon doesn't even get a chance to move. Surf is 4 times super effective, we knock it out, and we obtain the Earth Badge in a time of 1 hour, 28 minutes and 37 seconds. And with that, we have all 16 gym badges acquired. There's only one more challenge left to go, and that is the battle with Red. Before we get there though, we have to chat to Professor Oak to show him all 16 badges, and that will allow him to unlock Mount Silver access for us. On our way to the Silver Cave, we'll pick up the final rare candy of the run, we'll teleport back to Mount Silver, we'll enter the cave, and we will engage Red in battle. As always, we'll start at our current level and then use rare candies in a pattern of 3-3-4 if we need them. We're off to a good start as we already outspeed the Pikachu, and Surf is a one-shot, so that means that one of his Pokemon is irrelevant. Ice Beam is an easy 2-shot against the Venusaur, and that brings us on to Espeon. Surf takes Espeon deep into the yellow, but we take a lot of damage and get a Spadef drop from the Psychic. Up next is Snorlax, and this really is going to be our Achilles heel. We are running a purely special attacking Pokemon, and Snorlax is a special attacking wall. We get paralysed by Snorlax's Body Slam, so we use our first 3 rare candies. We are now at level 69 and we know the Pikachu is irrelevant. We're back onto the Venusaur and we switch back to Ice Beam once more. It's still a comfortable 2-shot as he takes in the sunlight, and that brings us on to Espeon. We use Surf on turn 1 as Espeon reflects, and that is a meaningless move for Espeon because we are just a special attacker. But now we're back onto the Snorlax. We use Psych Up yet again, and our best bet is to just try freezing. We don't get lucky on this occasion and we get knocked out yet again. Let's use a further 3 rare candies to grow up to level 72. We really are going to struggle against the Snorlax, but a move like Return would not be consistent either. We don't have the best physical attack in the world, and when you combine that with Espeon's Reflect, we're barely going to be making a dent in Snorlax. So our best option is to still keep on persevering and hope we get onto the Snorlax on full health. We try Ice Beam once more, and this time we skip the Psych Up. And the reason for that is we can always copy the Snorlax's stat changes once we freeze it. We get paralysed yet again though, and I give up and use the final 4 rare candies. We are now at level 76. He sends out the Pikachu and we know that's irrelevant. We're really only going up against 5 Pokemon, but at level 76 the Venusaur starts to use Sunny Day instead, and this is an issue. That means we are going to have to Ice Beam the Espeon as well. That means we take a lot of damage from a Psychic, but we are still comfortably in the green as the Snorlax comes out. The sunlight fades and that gives us a chance to freeze. We get a very lucky critical hit on turn 1 and Body Slam doesn't paralyze us. And then we get the luck we need. We freeze the Snorlax so we copy his stat changes and we get to surfing it. And all this time where we're just slowly chipping away, we're regaining health. We're back to above 200 as Blastoise comes out. Hidden Power Electric is looking like it's going to be a 3-shot, but he's barely making a dent in us at all thanks to that Amnesia. Red's final Pokemon is Charizard. We easily outspeed the Charizard, we hit it with Surf, and with that one last shot, we are through Red and we've defeated the run in a time of 1 hour 34 minutes and 4 seconds. And that time of 1 hour 34 minutes and 4 seconds puts us in 12th place on the leaderboard. We just missed out on the top 10, but considering we had a few struggles at the beginning of the run with Psyduck, I think we can call this a very good run. The 12th position finish has pushed Raichu down into the page 3 drop zone, and there is no change to the top of the leaderboard. Porygon 2 is still in first place, Kangaskhan in second place, and Apom in third. And finally, Executor has been pushed down onto page 3, and Shuckle closes out the leaderboard in 57th place. But with that, we are done. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. If you've enjoyed this run, then please do leave it a like. If you want to see more runs just like this, then click the subscribe button. If you've got anything at all to say, please do leave it in the comments down below. And until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.